Okay. We are live, and we are going to get into the whole tragic matter, aren't we? Hold on, let me just adjust the microphone here a little bit. Yeah. So we're still not finished with world politics. Isn't that amazing? Every day that goes by now, something crazy happens. But I have looked into that. Why is it that things seem to go crazy now? And there's an explanation for that, and I'm going to get to that. And by the way, the angle of the camera today was really good. That's a good angle. That's a good angle. You can see Odin and Thor there on the shelf, and yeah, my website address, two places as well. Wonderful, wonderful. Nothing like some shameless self promotion. So the comments in the chat are appearing, people are joining, which is wonderful. I'll just briefly respond to one of the comments, and I'll get to the chat more towards the end of this live stream. There's a commentary saying you're taking this too seriously. I don't think so. That's why I'm talking about it. So here's the thing. Oh wow, Nero! Wow, that's wonderful. Thank you for the super chat. That's very kind of you. You are most welcome. Okay, so Trump said, he started saying that, oh, we'll take Panama, oh, we'll take Canada, oh, we'll take Greenland, and so on and so on. And to begin with, people did not take him seriously. But when you start looking into it, there's a reason why you should. Even if it had been only some old guy saying something, that he didn't really think through, even that, I don't think it was, but even if it had been, there is a reason to take it seriously. So, and people said, when Trump said that, well, we need Greenland, we'll buy Greenland, make it American. People said, the Danish people, the Danish government, they might not like that. They might actually respond with saying, you know what, you can fuck off. And there's a military base, American military base on Greenland. And some people were saying that, it's very foolish to say that because it's disrespectful towards Greenland, towards Denmark. And they might respond with saying that, that military base, you can pack your bags and leave. That might be their response. And yeah, seems like the response has come. The Danish Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen, in a conversation, I believe it was yesterday, she said the following: Denmark is ready to take even greater responsibility for strengthening security in the Arctic. Now, she also said that they want to uphold good relations and a good alliance with the USA, and so on and so on. She's not a fool. So, of course, you will say that nobody wants a strong alliance to be broken. But she did say that Denmark is ready to take greater responsibility for the security in the Arctic. Let me translate that for you. That means that Denmark is ready to take over the military presence on Greenland. Do they want that to happen? Probably not. But if the Trump administration keeps pushing for taking over Greenland, then that might be what Denmark will do. Do I hope that that will happen? No, absolutely not. I believe in keeping the relation between Europe and the USA strong. I think that's beneficial to everyone. But there's something about saying that you will buy territories that is not part of your country. You can't say that, oh, I'll just buy that place there. We don't do that anymore. So, and the reason is that you see that there are people living in Greenland and they have great autonomy. And as they said in the Danish government said, Greenland is for the Greenlanders. That it's their land. So, and Christopher says that big influence, well, at least big presence there, and as they are saying from Denmark now, there might be an end to that if they keep pushing for, well, taking over that territory. So here you see what happens. This idea that, well, everyone wants to be like America, it's not true. And this idea that, well, the USA is the greatest and freest country on the planet, it's not true. It just shows how dangerous things can become when you have this, and I use this word a lot, ethnocentric worldview, where you believe that your country and your culture is the greatest. And everyone must believe that my country, my culture is the greatest. Why would anyone not want to be like me? That attitude is rather dangerous. And now you see what they are saying. The Danish government is that they are ready to basically take over the military presence on Greenland. Yeah. So let me just respond a little bit to some of the comments there, if there are any. Yeah, Julie, of course, why are they saying that? Why did Trump say that? Why did J.D. Vance back it up? Because they want the minerals. They want to start mining for minerals to use in batteries and so on. That you will find on Greenland. And as the polar ice is retracting because of global warming, which these people are generally denying, isn't that ironic? More and more of these minerals will be available. And that's why they want Greenland. It's not rocket science. Well, actually, they might use it in rockets. I don't know. So I have been preparing this live stream a little bit, actually. I find it interesting. There's an emotional tie to Greenland among Norwegians. And I find it interesting. Now, an analysis of the world situation, the political situation in the world now. And I saw this yesterday. Very interesting. And this guy, I can't remember his name, he said that we are actually moving or have moved into a world now where there isn't, or there is less cooperation, global cooperation. And you know what? I'll just hold on. There is less global cooperation. Now you will still have, things like the World Health Organization, which is basically a tool for big pharma, and you will have people like Trump and so on continuing to push for, push for that. I mean, look at the donors, look at big pharma, and you will have money. The money rules, follow the money. It will always be like that. But when there are no specific financial interests, at least, what seems to be the case is that the global cooperation is crumbling and is maybe mostly gone at this point. Instead, we have moved back to the law of the jungle, so to speak. So I wish I will take this criticism. I thought when the slogan "America First," I thought, oh, okay, so they will, care for their citizens first. Actually, I now understand that meant that, well, America first in the world. America will just take what they like, or at least maybe that will be their attitude. That won't happen, of course, but that seems to be the attitude. But you know what? That's not a very special or unique attitude to have, sadly. We also have China first. That could be their slogan. China first, because China doesn't care. And they will just take territories. They have taken many territories. I mean, Tibet is not fucking China. It's a land that they occupies. India first, I believe. Iran first. Russia, of course. Russia first. We are seeing that, and this goes on, and it doesn't make for a better world. We have the tools to cooperate, but it seems like there will be less cooperation when there is no financial interest in the future. So I think the term is actually 0G, and you'll be hearing more about that in the future. And that means that, we are, well, what I just said, basically. We says nobody knows anything about Greenland, plus it's all Eskimos there. My advice would be to read up on Greenland. There are some of us, we have had an interest in Greenland. We think it's important. We know a little bit about the history. I think you will find that, especially if you go to Scandinavia, we know quite a bit about Greenland. So respectfully, I will say, speak for yourself. Yeah. When it comes to Greenland, I will say this. The value, no, that's the wrong word. The most important about Greenland is to protect it. We can mine, we can take out the natural resources, and it will destroy the area. But that's a short-sighted, stupid thing to do. We shouldn't do that. There are not that many wild, untouched areas left on this planet. So, yeah, you know, Greenland needs to be protected. So, okay. We do see quite a bit of the ethnocentric US mentality here. We have Florin who says that the resources of Greenland and the position it has near the Arctic should be in the profit of the EU. No, sorry, I read it wrong. I read it wrong. Sorry, Florin. That was my mistake. I got it mixed up with another commentary. It's moving fast now. Christian, yes, says Denmark pays Greenland well a lot of money yearly. Yeah, I know. Let's see. Hold on. I'll have to scroll up to see the context here. Okay. Yeah, Homeplan says national self-priority is natural. It is natural, but also we should aim to do better than that. Because it doesn't, well, it leads to wars typically, if you look back in human history. And wars are not a good thing. And yeah, it's Calypso. Yeah, I see a comment there, and it is. Again, I think first of all, I will say that I have great fascination for the USA. I love parts of the culture. I love parts of the mentality. But I think it's a problem that Americans generally don't travel outside of their borders. And you can kind of see it. And I think also the education system in the USA has become, it should be better, and you can see the consequences of a failing education system. Yeah, in Europe, we generally have free healthcare, so that, yeah, which is a good thing, We have more vacation, which is also a good thing. Stealth mode, yeah, the deal with Greenland is minerals. Okay, I think I get the context now. Now, I need to point out there will be no US invasion of Greenland. There will be no, they are rattling with their sabers, maybe a little bit, and showing off some, it's a pissing context, basically. That's what Trump is trying to start. And the Danish government, they don't fall for that. They their first reaction was actually they were laughing, and they're not laughing now. And if Trump keeps pushing for this, which I don't think they will do, but if they keep pushing, the Danes, it seems like they will then take away, or they will ask the Americans in the military base or there to just pack their bags and leave. Um, so yeah, but let's just hope that this normalizes. Let's just hope that sensible people will talk together, and the Americans there, will say that okay, we have this chump in power, and uh, but we shouldn't care so much about that. And the Danes will say, okay, let's keep our relations strong and good and friendly, like before, you know. So, okay. So let me move on then, because these things have consequences. Okay. And yes, I know people are saying shouldn't take what Trump is saying seriously, but people do, and people use it. So I think I mentioned this yesterday. Lavrov, is he the foreign minister in Russia? The guy with the long, tired face. He said that if the USA takes Greenland, Russia will need to take Svalbard. Svalbard is Norwegian territory. There used to be a couple of Russian settlements there, but they are gone now. And it's Norwegian territory. It's being protected. There are special laws there. Like, it's, I believe, the only place on the planet where you have to carry firearms. You know, that's Svalbard, and it's protected. The nature is protected. We know that the ice is retracting, so they are hurrying, the biologists and so on, hurrying to do research there while they can, and it's being protected by Norwegian military. And now Russia says that, well, if the US takes Svalbard, no, if the US takes Greenland, Russia will need to have Svalbard. So you see, you see how this goes, how foolish statements in politics have consequences. You can't just be an idiot and say idiotic things as the leader of the USA or the upcoming leader. And if you do, it's going to have consequences. So it's a headache for us here in Norway. you know, um, and it's a shame because we don't have to go more than like 3 years back in time. And back then, the relations between Norway and Russia were good, I believe, and there were cooperation in the northern, in the Arctic Sea, and it was moving, I believe, in the right direction. That's what I've heard, and that's what we want. But now it's just getting worse and worse. And also, I mean, the idea of buying a country, it's so foolish. I mean, so what do you use to buy a country? Money? What is money? Money in itself has no value. So you can put $1 billion, $1 trillion on the table. It doesn't matter how much. What is that? you know, it brings us back to how it used to be and how it should be. Make trade deals, So, because that has real value. Uh, some super chats here. Thank you so much for those. Mr. Rage says that my great uncle perished during the Vietnam War. I want to serve my country, but I will not fight for foreign land disputes. We must focus on our lands. I'm so sorry to hear about your great uncle. And I agree. Absolutely. Kat, thank you so much for your super chat and the very kind words. I do my best here. So, let's see. Yeah, well, and also it's very nice that you educate me, but I'm also quite informed about the topics I choose to talk about generally. I know that the USA and other countries have purchased territories. I know that, but it's a long time ago. The world was a different place back then. um, yeah. We worry about some of the statements coming from the USA, like Palin, woman. No, what's her name? Governor in Alaska, something like that. She said something along the lines. So, we have in Alaska we have to deal with immigrants and foreign people because we have the Eskimos here. I mean, when you say that, oh, the it gives it gives me a headache to hear things like that because it's so stupid. It's like if we're going to talk about who the foreign people in Alaska is, then well, Sarah Palin. It's not who you like to call the Eskimos, is it? Because they were there from the start, right? Yeah. So I just want some common sense. And I think if we look at places like the USA, where I think what happened there is that you got a reaction to the corrupt regime under Biden. You got a reaction to the woke stuff, which was just insane. It is insane, and the pendulum just swung. Is that swung? Very far up the other end, right? So, and now you have this ethnocentric, America first guy there, and his comrades and the donors, and portraying as being there to help the people. And it's I think we are all susceptible to vote in people like that in positions of power, because we want things to be better, and we kind of we are hardwired to believe in things that we agree with to start with. And when there are someone saying those things, it's very tempting for us human beings to put them in positions of power. Okay. Yeah, Israel. this channel is it's like a sacrificial channel. So I will get into that with the thing with Israel. We can talk a little bit about it. I know what happens on YouTube when you do. Isn't that funny? But let's just finish this topic first. Now, when it comes to borders, Russia is our neighbors here in Norway. Same with Finland. And then you have Sweden kind of in with a buffer. The buffer is Norway and Finland. But yeah, so we have a border to Russia. And up north, there are lots of Russian people living in Norway, lots of Russian people actually living in the city here nearby. And they are typically people who integrate so well that you wouldn't know that they are not Norwegians. Very bright, friendly people. And, so Greenland is uninhabitable. Not all of Greenland is uninhabitable. Yeah. Okay. So there is a few people here. They want us to get to the topic of Israel. So I've been talking for half an hour and 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. And now what I could do is to tell you guys that I can't talk about Israel. I can't criticize Israel or the Jews, because YouTube doesn't like that. And I can't say anything negative about the great state of Israel, God's chosen people, because that will get me in trouble here on YouTube. I could say that. Or I could say, fuck that. I will say what I want. So, I have done a live stream here, and I called the people who attacked, took hostages and killed, devils. So let's just make that clear. Those people, I believe they came from Gaza, Hamas terrorists. They are devils. And Hamas is a terrorist organization. I want to make that very clear. That being said, what we're seeing in Israel now is a nationalist, murderous ideology. And what they're doing in Gaza, it's so evil that I'm tempted to think that if I was a Christian, I would point at Netanyahu and his comrades there, and I would say, is that the devil himself? Because it is pure evil what we're seeing there. They are claiming to try to protect or not kill civilians. That's rubbish. It's been proven by many of these organizations that risk their lives being in the area and so on. They are targeting civilians. This is Israel trying to kill the people in Gaza. Women, children, they don't care. And I think that, and this might have been the goal for these terrorists in Hamas, but I think that Israel's regime should never be forgiven. They should always, those people, sorry, not talking about the Israeli people, but I'm talking about their leaders, their present leaders. They should be treated as criminals. And there is an arrest order for Netanyahu and one of the Hamas leaders, and was it the former defense minister or something in Israel? And they should be arrested because they're criminals, they're murderers. Now, the problem seems to be the weapons and the money coming mainly from the USA to Israel. I believe that Israel should get aid so that they are able to protect themselves. So that they have what it's called, the Iron Dome, things like that. But they should not get help, financial help, to buy weapons of war to attack the areas around them, right? So many people are saying that the real problem here is the USA, because the USA keeps supplying these weapons to Israel. And if they stopped that, also the killing would stop. So to anyone listening here who is a big fan of Israel and what Israel is doing now, you can fuck right off. Because here's the thing. When you are targeting women and children, I think that it should never be forgiven. It should never be forgiven. And I don't care if I lose 10,000 subscribers for saying that. I don't care if YouTube demonetizes this channel. I don't fucking care. Because I want to be able to look back at what I did, what I said, with some dignity. Okay. So there you have it. So I answered the question. Okay. And if you don't like that, some people are saying, I'm out in the chat. I don't care. I don't care. Now, the Israeli people, did you know they are actually protesting in the streets? Protesting against what the government is doing? Did you know that? I think maybe you didn't know. Maybe many people don't know that, because it's not. I mean, Israel is not a country with freedom of expression. They like to portray themselves as being such a country, but they're not. Nick, thank you so much for your donation. Thank you so much. So that's Israel, and I think that it will be interesting to see what the new U.S. government will be doing, and it's also interesting to. And I read a headline yesterday, and I can't remember the name, but the chief negotiator for the upcoming Trump administration in that area, he wanted to talk to Netanyahu, and it was on the Sabbath. And and Netanyahu said, or his representative said that he has the day off because it's a Shabbat or whatever they call it. And he says he can fuck right off because I want to talk to him now. Because Yeah, he had the day off, but the bombs and rockets and killing was still ongoing. So, yeah. So I'm actually quite hopeful, but might maybe I shouldn't be. We will see. We will see. Um, yeah. Okay. Lots of um, lots of what's the word when you try to justify something because other things are bad too. It's not really going to help when you do that. Um, if Israel has freedom of speech, oh, say that to the ones in prison in fucking Israel for expressing their freedom of speech. You need to inform yourselves better. This is, you need to inform yourselves better, okay? Oh, yeah, it was Witkoff who told Netanyahu to fuck off. Yeah, which I kind of like. Um, okay. Uh, let's see here. Kali Fortune says after we buy new Greenland, we would give a part to the Palestinians for a homeland. That's so funny. Yeah. Nobody's going to buy Greenland. Yeah. Yeah. Go put a press pass on and go. I suppose you mean not Greenland, Israel, and see what kind of freedom you will get in Israel yeah. And then you can go to Gaza. Well, no, don't do that. But before they started the killing there, you could have tried to go to Gaza and try to, it's, and this is so funny, because no, it's not funny. It's tragic. People portraying Gaza and like, oh, it used to be so great. But, I mean, it's not a democratic. It's ruled by terrorists. I mean, it's a Muslim Islamic country. Oh yeah, yeah. Some people think it's not a country, but the people in Gaza. It's we shouldn't fool ourselves, and it wasn't great. It wasn't great. It was, yeah. It's so easy for people. It seems it's so easy. TV says Gaza was hell. Yeah, it's. I mean, I have traveled quite a bit, and what I have found is that people are generally nice. They just want to go about their life, and generally people are okay. It's the people in power that are very often not okay. And if you look at Gaza, ruled by the terrorist organization Hamas, come on, I mean, no freedom of speech. The conditions there for women, I don't know, but it's not. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. And there's a reason why people from surrounding Muslim areas moved into Israel if they could, because Israel is a much better country to live in, much more freedom of speech. I just said freedom of speech has it's not so great in Israel, but it was better than in these surrounding areas. Caleb F says, Bjorn, you're full of judgment. Chock full of it. Go back to your roots and do the real work. Why don't you dig a hole, Caleb, and sit in it? You know, you don't get to say that here. If you do, you're gone. Let's see. And now you're gone. um, yeah, it's a strange thing, this unconditional support for Israel. It's a very strange thing. It seems like people, I'll use this expression again, are hardwired to support Israel. But I mean, well, yes, there will be people who support Russia in what they're doing in Ukraine as well. But I'm, call me whatever you like. But when you start killing people, women and children, I'm not going to support you anymore. That's just me. You might be different. You might think it's okay. I don't think it's okay. So, in other words, I do not support Israel, and that's because of what they're doing. I don't support the regime in Gaza because of what they're doing. And just because, I mean, I always get a lot of Christian people here, and they have this sickly obsession with Israel. It's like, oh, we have to support Israel. It's God's, they are God's chosen people, and they are fighting the ugly Muslims down there. We have to support Israel. Why the fuck do you keep doing that? Start thinking for yourself. Yeah, I know they are brainwashed, Debbie. I know. Yeah, they they reached a ceasefire. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. There are reports, and I hate to say this, there are reports that they're still shooting, So I don't know what to trust, and the analysis, and believe it or not, I do prepare these topics, and this was actually something I was going to talk about, not today, but maybe tomorrow. But I do look into things before I talk about it. And analysis on this is that the ceasefire will not last, sadly. Actually, the ceasefire, here's how it works according to these analysts. The ceasefire will be on paper, and there will be killing while the ceasefire is going on. Now, this depends not so much on the killing, this depends on saving face. Both parts, which is Hamas and the Israeli regime, they need to be able to not lose face. That's an expression. You can look it up if you want to. And as long as they can portray the whole situation as it being a ceasefire, they're good, in a way. But the main part here, and what people who work in the area, diplomats and so on, what they are saying is that the time from the ceasefire, which I believe on paper started yesterday, the time from the ceasefire starts until a more a peace treaty is signed must be short. Because if it's not short, they will not be able to sit there and pretend that there is an actual full 100% ceasefire. I mean, look at Hamas. Hamas, they don't. They had. It's not. It's not a top-down, full control kind of government or organization. It's based on cells, terror cells, you might say, and they don't have the control of all of those. So still, this is going on now. If you wonder about the hostage situation, it's going to be in portions. And that's probably being done. It's probably being done that way because Hamas, they want this to be a gradual thing. They know that if they give back the hostages, those they haven't already killed because they're fucking animals. No, sorry, I shouldn't say that. I take that back. They're not animals because animals are not evil. And the Hamas terrorists are evil. So they're not animals, they are devils. So if they give all of them back at once, they think that maybe Israel will just continue decimating or killing off all the people in Gaza. So yeah, I'm sorry I call them animals. I like animals, as I said. They are not animals. Well, we're all animals, but they are evil. They are evil, and animals are not evil. So you know what I'm trying to say here. So monsters, yeah. Joe is being funny. Greenland will kick out the US. How many Africans will do it? No, you see, Denmark will just say, you have to leave, and they will actually leave. That's actually how it works. They're not going to act like in some stupid action movie. So, yeah. Yeah, Colonel Panic says, I'm glad Bjorn supports the US acquiring Greenland. Are you being funny? Have you not listened to me? No, you don't need power to kick out the US. We're talking about a military base. You don't need that. That's in Hollywood movies. That's in Hollywood movies. It's not like the people up there, the military is going to say, no, we have the guns here. We're going to barricade ourselves in here, and we'll fight you. We'll fight you, Danes. We'll fight you because we're Americans. That's not how it's going to listen. That's not how it works. But the thing is, here's what's going to happen or not happen. Okay, the USA is not going to buy Greenland. Denmark is not going to tell the military on the US military base there to leave. It's going to stay as it is, more or less. Okay. So we need to kind of take it easy a little bit here. So, yeah. Okay, lots of controversial topics now. And I'm sure that the haters or the people who turned haters when I started criticizing Israel is going to enjoy the fact that I'm going to be partly, I suspect I will be partly demonetized here on Google. You people who love Israel, you're on the side of Google and big tech. I hope you like that. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, Rob. Well, it's good that you're staying. That's good. I think if you've been following this channel for a while, I have said many, many times that I'm not going to offer you an echo chamber here. I'm not tribal. I'm not going to subscribe to a list of what you're supposed to believe and think. I'm going to try to look at the facts to the best of my abilities. And that's what I'm going to use to form my opinions, not the other way around. The problem now is that people do it the other way around. They have some feelings, and they look for facts, cherry pick some facts to support those feelings. So, yeah. Um, I I think we're living in times where, and I'll just get quickly back to what I said. We're living in times where you will have America first, meaning that the attitude will be, well, this is the greatest country on the planet, so why don't we just take what we want? There's nothing new about that. Used to be Britain first. It used to be the Mongols first, right? It used to be the Danes first. Now we have also, we have America first, we have China first, we have India first, we have Russia first, and it's probably not going to help us, Harald, I don't think you're being censored. I can see your comment. So, as I said, we're still going to have, global organizations like the World Health Organization basically being a tool for big pharma, and a lot of policies, global policies, it's going to be implemented because of that. But at the same time, you will probably have this ethnocentric, egocentric, almost colonial, conquering mindset that these superpowers are going to implement when they go about their policies in the world. Like the USA will try. I don't think they will succeed. Like they are not going to get Greenland. They're not going to get Panama and so on. And a lot of that has to do with the American people, I think, because you actually have a democracy. Oh, especially the right. They hate when I say that you have a democracy, but that means that you actually get to vote, and you don't have to vote for only one political party, like in China. China, they don't have a democracy. So there's a huge difference there. Russia, they don't have a democracy, not a functional democracy. Big, big difference. Constitutional republic and all that. I get so sick and tired of that. We have a constitution as well, but we're a monarchy, sadly. But that's the only difference. You have a president. We have a king. But okay. You get to vote. You get to vote. That's what matters. You can call it what the fuck you want. So, yeah. Galadriel, I know you got upset on a different platform about that. But you know what? Here in Norway, we have a constitution and all of that as well. We have rights, a list of rights in the constitution. So what's the difference? You know, it's like I can troll people here at this time of the night sometimes, and I can say that you know, we don't have the same rights as people in the USA here in Norway. We don't have guns, so we can't defend ourselves. No guns are allowed here. But I have seen a gun in a museum. And we can pay money to the government and go and see the gun in the museum. That's how it works here. They took away our guns, so we don't have any rights anymore. And there will be people who believe that. And when I first said that, I thought, oh, that's a funny joke. That's a funny joke. Let's see if yeah. The point is, we have guns in Norway. It's very common. It's very common to have guns here. So it's like it's a joke. It's a joke. Okay. Now I'll go and have my breakfast. And I'm kind of sorry that this triggered so many people. That's just how it is sometimes. Sorry, but not sorry. Okay. Sorry, but not sorry. No, that's okay. Well, I will be excited to see if this live stream gets demonetized. Yeah, interesting.